Hey, Shalom Akia, Ya Bashim Asha, Bashim Kwakadash, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim Kwakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles who grew up in Stone Rule well, and the Akim out there preaching the word of the Lord, Ya Bashim Yahushai, in sincerity and truth and diligence of mind. This is Brother Menashe DC Camp with a short lesson to edify the hopeful elect. Alright, so Akim, don't get comfortable. Yeah, this protest is not dying down yet, man. It's just something brewing, brewing behind the scenes, all right? So they are aware of what's going on in Seattle, how the so-called precinct's been taken over, all right? So it's all part of the show. So don't get complacent in this, in this very moment, man. They always tell, you about the calm before the storm. Hey, this is it, all right? So, businesses, they got hit hard by by the looters, the rioters, and the agent provocateurs. And it's gonna take them a while for them to to get back on their feet. So just imagine, man, people just gonna be out of jobs, nothing much going on for them. They have to go do something else. Yes, that's the extra headache, man, that Jake does not take into account when stuff like this happens, because the elites, man, they always like to take advantage of Jake's emotions. When one is confused, they become uh, they become vulnerable. All right, they listen to almost every single gossip, just like when folks were running into the stores and fighting for bleach, fighting for toilet paper, fighting for all the stuff. Coming to find out, it's just their fear that's getting the best of them. All right. So I'm gonna read this precept real quick, man, because the economy itself, man, it's not really gonna pick up, right? Because the so-called guidelines for this COVID-19 stuff are still in place. All right. So a lot of people are not going to be able to open up their businesses because they're going to be, operating at less than capacity. All right. So this is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 12. It says, "The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof." All right. So the economy is going to suffer. All right. Thus said the Lord. That's the time we're coming into. All right. So folks that have so much dreams and aspirations, all right, from in Babylon, they're gonna get disappointed. All right, because they think that it's just just one of those things that happens. It's gonna spark and then it's gonna go down. But no, this is it. We're getting closer to the final chapter of America, of Babylon the Great. Right. So all these terrible events, chaotic events, they need to have they need to take hold of this place, man. They need to have a foothold. That's why you have this so-called, false flag of Black Lives Matter and every other, group that wants to attach themselves to it. That's why you have it, brewing. All right. So you don't want to lose sight of what's taking place. All right, because the show has to go on, so they have to create more tensions. They have to manufacture more tensions, all right? So another precept is going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 24. I'm going to read verse 10. It says, "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in." Yeah, so America's crumbling, the morale is down, folks' hopes and everything else, aspirations, just it's really dim right now. but for the elect's sake, this place is gonna go down quicker. All right, that's really, 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 the plan of the Lord to have His elect of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native Americans to be delivered. Right, because America is basically circling the drain. So when you hear on the news that businesses are still trying to clean up after the looting and all the destruction of their property and vandalism and all that stuff, it's gonna take a while for people to come in. They have to go elsewhere. So that capital, that money is gonna be diverted to other stores that are functional. All right. So you see on the screen it says the rich aren't safe anymore. So this is a so-called restaurant in D.C. So I believe it's on Connecticut Avenue, very near to the White House, the Oval Room. Yeah, just like no, I believe that's what they call the president's you know the president's office, the Oval Office. All right. So this is the Oval Room. So it's all symbolism. It's just a block from the White House. And you see what the spray painted. The rich aren't safe anymore. So all these top business owners, that America is basically going down, man. Just like you had a third precinct in Minneapolis being burnt up and all that stuff. It's just a signal to them saying the rich aren't safe anymore. And that's what it boils down to, you know. And they're the ones behind these protests anyway, and all this vandalism. They're the ones that always set the stage because they always got to cover their tracks. All right, that's what it takes, man. When you're about to catch up with all the evil they're doing, and they need something bigger to distract the people. This is what they come up with. All right. So it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful that this chaos is taking place. So expect more to come. All right. And then verse 11, Isaiah 24, verse 11 says, "There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." Yeah. So it's dimming. That light. That light, that torch of America is basically being extinguished. The scripture talks about the light of the wicked shall be shall be put out. This is just an example right here. This is just what's going on. All right. So this is exactly what it's gonna take. For our deliverance to be manifest. It has to be the downfall of America. This is exactly what you're seeing before your eyes. All right. And then another precept is going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verses 10 and 11. It says, "All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" And that's exactly what the smaller nations, with smaller economies, weaker economies, that's what they're going to be telling America. In fact, that's what they're telling America now. You know, ever since the so-called social distancing and putting on of masks and businesses shutting down, it just comes to prove that America's financial system is weak. You know, it's based on system of what you call of false balances. All right, or false balances. It's an illusion, 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 illusion. You know, and that's what the people of the world have seen now. That America is not, the so-called country, of greatness anymore, of great opportunity. That's all. It's all talk, all talk, 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 talk. But the people don't have the balls to run their own economy. That's always the government got to run stuff, and it's infuriating a lot of people, on the streets of America that have businesses that have debt to pay, bills to pay, children and family to take care of. Yeah, so it's making their nerves boil. All right, And that's exactly what we're looking forward to. The people to get more angry, right? Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy viols, right? So all the greatness is coming down. That's what the scripture says, come down, and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? There is no throne for thee. It says, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. This is exactly what it is. This is a worm, the destruction of businesses, destruction of public infrastructure. That's just the worm, that's just the worm, corruption, decay, everything falling to disrepair. That's America for you now, all right? Because there's nothing, what's the government really doing, to revitalize the economy? Inflation is not helping, hyperinflation is not helping, taxation is not helping. People are applying for forbearance on their bills, the mortgages, their car notes, their rents and all that. It's uh, it's becoming more evident, right, that the economy of America is not as robust as it used to be, or as it was claimed to be, right? So another precept is going to be from the book of Sirach. So it's basically a warning to the elect, to prepare for the chaos that's coming. All right, to prepare for the violence that's coming to the streets of America. All right, because it's just gonna be so messed up. All right. So the book of Sirach chapter 31 verse 5 says, he that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. And that's what's going on in America, man. All these folks with all these business aspirations and investment plans and strategies, man, they are upset. They are not confident. All right, you watch Bloomberg News, they're talking about the stock market this, the stock market that. You can't really make that much money when the foundation is basically, in shatters. You know, it's all messed up. Businesses are just scared to open up because they're in a protest zone. They're being held hostage. Truckers going on strike. Fuel cost is going up. The farmers, you can't even say much about them, despite all the food they've destroyed. Yep. So that's what happens when you have all these so-called government regulations, man, that hold people hostage. All right, people can't do what they need to do because the gatekeepers, they're preventing them, and that's exactly what the elites want. They want everything to get tight. They want that famine to come. They want that violence to come. They want that economic or downward spiral. They want it to take place, and that's how you maintain control of the people, control the resources, you control the information they hear. All right, and you also try, to control every aspect of their lives. All right, so that's scary times we're living in. I can, yep. And verse 6 says, gold had been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. So that's what happens when you live in a society that's always encouraging people to chase after all these business ventures, and they set you up for the okie doke, and they pull the rug from beneath your feet. That's what happens, man. It's just a trap, you know. Like somebody, pours paint on ice that's melting. People just walk over it, and then all of a sudden, they sink into the lake. Yeah, that's all it is, man. It's just an illusion. So that's why we gotta be careful. We don't get too comfortable with every move we make. So just pray, Lord, that Bashima shall continue to guide us through it because it's really necessary, to have a balanced mindset. Right? So, final precept will be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, verse 17. It says, Behold, for peace I had great bitterness. And that's exactly what happens when you wake up and start to do the will of the Lord. You desire peace, but you realize that everything around you is nothing but wickedness, and that pisses you off. You see the oppression, and unrighteousness. All right, so that has to, set your mind off, man. Make you realize that you can't really depend on a place like this, right? But thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption. And that's what we're looking forward to, man. The mere fact that we woke up to this truth and you hold it on to this gospel of the Lord Yahushai, that means that the Lord Yahweh Shim Kwakadash is having mercy on Akim, and their families, alright? So that we can be delivered from this place. That's why this place is called the Valley of the Shadow of Death, alright? But thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption, alright? The traps of Esau's society, alright? For thou hast cast all my sins behind thy back. So all your iniquities that we've committed against the Lord's not regarding it anymore, because He's decided that we're gonna get out of it. So that's exactly what we're looking forward to, man. You don't want to be held liable, for your sins anymore. After the Lord Yahushua has, vouched for thee, has covered you, has seized you with that mark, to be exempt from the turmoil that's coming upon the face of the earth, to be exempt from the judgment that's coming upon two-thirds. So just pray, Lord, Bashim Shai, keep your mind sharp, man, because it's really, really important that you pay attention to the times you're living in, all right? Because you don't want to get caught unaware. So it's really important. That's what the scripture says, redeeming the time because the days are evil, all right? So you don't want to get caught up by this different opinions that keep popping out over the air. Because our people, they like to go with something that's really interesting, thinking they're making progress, only to find out they're walking down the paths of, of treachery and snares. All right, so that's the point that I can, keep your eyes open, and pray the Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kakadash, continue to guide you in spirit and in truth. Shalom.